So, Arsenal are through to the fourth round of the Caraboa Cup following a great 2-0 win at Leicester City last night. In this video, I look back and analyse that performance. Hello, my name is Richard and welcome back to my channel over and over and over again, which features everything to do with Arsenal. So in this video I just really want to look back at last night's fantastic 2-0 victory away at Leicester City in the Caraboa Cup. Just before I do that, I just want to make sure that you are all subscribing to my channel. If you like what I'm doing, it's called the Positive Arsenal channel because I am trying to keep everything positive here. So if that's what you like, please click on the subscribe button. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up as well because that helps to get it noticed. And if you've got any comments as well, please drop them in the comments box as well. It's always nice to hear from people that watch the videos, and it's much appreciated as well. So last night then we travelled to Leicester City in the third round of the Caraboa Cup. Of course, as I mentioned on my preview show to this game a couple of days ago, we don't have a particularly good record away at Leicester, so this was always going to be a very tricky tie for us. And of course, let's not forget, Leicester are top of the Premier League at the moment, having won their opening 2 games. Yes, they made a lot of changes for this game. In fact, they changed their entire starting 11, but they still had some really good players with Premier League experience in their team, didn't they? James Maddison played, for example, Iheanacho, Chowdhury as well. So they had some good players. You know, Wes Morgan, of course, defender, very experienced, Albrighton as well. So, you know, they had some good players in their team. Let's not make any question about that. In terms of our lineup, we kept the same system that we've been playing successfully under Arteta for quite a while now, the 3-4-3 formation. We made 7 changes from the weekend's win over West Ham. Goalkeeper was the same actually. Bernd Leno started. Maybe it was just a little bit too early for our new signing, Alex Renarson. Of course, he only joined the day before, so maybe that was asking a little bit much for him to come straight into the team. The back three, it was Rob Holding on the right hand side, David Luiz in the centre, making his first start of the season, and Sead Kolasinac on the left hand side. Now, I was quite surprised maybe William Saliba didn't get a start. I don't know if he's not quite ready yet, but Arteta's certainly not sort of ready to put him in the team, is he? For some reason at this moment in time. So that was the back three, quite experienced back three actually when you look at the number of games they've played in the Premier League between them. Across the midfield then, Maitland-Niles started as the right wing back. Of course, he didn't feature against West Ham at the weekend. Bukayo Saka kept his place on the left. We don't seem to have a lot of other options there at the moment, do we, with the injuries that we've got. And in the centre of midfield we had Mohamed El Neni, of course, who had a good start to the season with a performance in the Community Shield and away at Fulham. And he was partnered by Joe Willock for his first start of the season as well. And then the front three was completely different from the weekend. Nicola Pepe started on the right, Eddie Nketiah through the middle, and Reiss Nelson on the left. So, well, that was quite a young team. It was also a team that's played a lot of games for the club in recent years, haven't they? So it wasn't an inexperienced side. If you remember going back a few years in the League Cup, we used to play quite a lot of the academy kids. A lot of players that make their debuts and stuff like that in this competition. But this was an experienced team. So clearly Arteta is taking this competition really seriously and wants to try and win it, which is great because it is a competition that we've underachieved in over the years anyway. In terms of the game itself, I mean, there wasn't a lot in it really. We actually played quite well, I thought. A pretty slow start. Leicester maybe had a couple of chances early on. Kelechi Iheanacho looked a bit lively. But then we started to get on top of things. Reiss Nelson was probably our most dangerous player in the first half actually. He had a couple of good chances. One in particular when he cut inside from the left, curled a shot in towards the top corner. It was only a really good save by the Leicester goalkeeper Danny Ward that prevented us taking the lead. We could have had a penalty actually as well in the first half. Bukayo Saka's ran through. He seems to tangle with Amati in the penalty area. Maybe VAR might have given it, the referee didn't. But other than that, it was quite a tight, even game. There wasn't a lot to choose between the sides. The first goal always looked as though it was going to be important actually, and I felt as though whoever scored first would probably go on and win, and that's exactly what happened. We got the lucky break, if you like, 57 minutes in. It was a scrappy goal, but even so, it was an important goal. Nicola Pepe played a big part in it actually. He hadn't really done a lot in the game up until then, not really been involved much. But this time he was. He did a good run down the right hand side. He tried to cross the ball to Eddie Nketiah in the centre, but goalkeeper Danny Ward blocked the cross, but the ball came back to Pepe. It was a very, very tight angle. He tried to squeeze it in at the near post. The ball hit the post, came back out and struck defender Christian Fuchs and went into the net. So it was an own goal, a very scrappy goal, but a very important one, as I said, and it did put us into the lead and put us in control. What I've noticed with Arsenal is, under Arteta in particular, that once we get in front, very rarely do we fail to win when we score first now. A bit like back in the old days under George Graham, you kind of feel as though we're probably going to win. We could have been 2-0 up. Nketiah had a great chance. He was put through, but a long ball from Rob Holding. He lobbed it over the goalkeeper. It was going in, but Wes Morgan got back to head it off the line. Leicester made a couple of substitutions. Jose Perez was one of the players who came on, and he actually perhaps should have equalised. About 10 minutes to go, he had a free header from a free kick, probably about 4 or 5 yards out, and somehow he put it wide. Anywhere on target would have got in. Leno wouldn't have been able to get anywhere near it, but he put it wide. That was maybe a bit of a let off from us, but I thought it was deserved, because I thought we had been the better side in the second half. We made a few substitutions ourselves. Danny Ceballos replaced Willock. Willian replaced Reece Nelson. Of course, Reece Nelson had a great game, to be fair. A really good game from Reece Nelson. And then the final substitution saw Hector Bellerin replace Saka and make the Nile switch over to the left. And it was actually Bellerin who created the killer second goal in the very last minute of the game. He did really well down the right hand side, skipped past his man, cut back inside, squared the ball to Nketiah. And all the defenders seemed to fall over, the goalie fell over, and then Nketiah was able to bundle the ball in. Another really, really scrappy goal. But again, who cares? It made it 2-0, sealed the win, and puts us into the next round. So I say, overall, it was a really pleasing performance. We've got a system now that everybody knows. So any player that comes in, they know the system, they know the job they've got to do, and they're able to carry out the game plan almost perfectly every game. We've been criticised maybe for having a weak squad. You'd have to excuse me, there's some work going on outside, which is a little bit annoying. I need some soundproofing maybe. We've been criticised maybe for not having very much strength in depth. Maybe defensively at the moment we've got a couple of injuries and a couple of players not ready. You know, bearing in mind we've still got Saliba, who didn't come on at all in this game. We've got Pablo Mari, who is still recovering from injury. Obviously Gabriel was rested on this occasion, so we have got options in defence. It's just that at this moment in time some of them aren't ready to play, but elsewhere in the team, you know, we've got a lot of different options. And yes, is the quality there? You know, say in midfield, for example, we did start a completely different midfield, didn't we, last night? El Neni and Willock, and it worked pretty well. You know, are they long-term solutions to take us to the next level? Possibly not, we've got to be honest, but they can certainly come in and do a job as they showed last night, and you need squad players who can do that. I do feel as though we do still need a couple more recruitments in midfield, a little bit more quality. We know the two players in particular that we're after. There is still a week or so left of the window, isn't there? So let's not panic yet. I'm confident we'll get at least one of those in, but if we don't, even if we don't sign anybody else, you've got to say that this squad now, with the way that they've been set up, the way they're being coached, is very encouraging. In terms of last night's game, I really want to give credit to Reece Nelson. I thought he had a great game. He looked really, really dangerous. He seems to have improved a lot, actually. I had doubts about him when he first kind of broke into the side. I wasn't sure if he'd be good enough, but he's clearly worked hard. Arteta's worked well with him, and you could see the improvements last night. I thought he had a good game. He had a little bit better end product as well, which maybe was lacking previously. Another player who played well again was Bukayo Saka. Absolutely brilliant again. I mean, what a player he is, what a prospect he is. I mean, fantastic player. I'm surprised he's not getting a little bit more recognition at international level. I'm surprised he's not getting a little bit more recognition in the media as well. He doesn't get much of a mention, does he, on you know, Match of the Day and stuff like that, which I'm quite surprised about, because he's playing really, really well. He had another great performance last night. And the other player I really wanted to highlight was Eddie Nketiah. I thought he was brilliant last night as well. He's a natural goal scorer, isn't he? And no matter how good your team is, if you've got a natural goal scorer in your team, you've always got a chance of getting a goal and winning a game. He was the difference in the end last night, wasn't he? He got the second goal, and he gets himself into some great positions as well. He's always there, isn't he? Ready for an easy chance. You know, a lot of his goals, it's no surprise, a lot of his goals are close range efforts, tap-ins in the empty net, if you like the one against West Ham, like the one last night, and that shows what he's all about. He's a predator in the box, and that's a sort of centre forward that we've been lacking over a number of years, really. You know, we've got obviously Aubameyang, who scores all his goals coming in from the left hand side. Lacazette he drops very deep. He almost plays as a false nine, doesn't he? So Eddie's movement and his instincts are fantastic, and I think he's got a great future at the club. Actually, if you look at his goal scoring record, it's pretty impressive. So yeah, I just want to give credit to him as well, and also as well a player who's maybe been criticised quite a lot recently. Said Kolasinac had a good game last night, actually. I think he's lacking in a bit of confidence, and maybe getting a little bit of run of games would help him. Obviously, with other players fit, he's not going to play, is he? Let's be honest. But sometimes in the squad, as I said before, you do need players who can come in and do a job. And he showed last night he can do a job. So I want to give him a little bit of credit as well, because I thought he had a decent game after his difficulties, shall we say, against West Ham. But of course he was thrown into that game at the last minute, so we'll maybe make allowances for that. So that was actually last night. I say a really good performance. It was a good team performance, wasn't it? You know, there wasn't necessarily great outstanding individual displays. I say a few players there had good games. In fact, most of them had good games, didn't they? They were all sort of 7 out of 10 really, wasn't they? And I say a couple maybe slightly higher. So it was a good all-round performance, and we move into the next round. It's not going to get much easier, because it looks as though it's going to be Liverpool away next Thursday. They of course play Lincoln tonight in their third round tie. I'll be amazed if they don't win. Let's be honest. Even if they play their under 23 team, you still imagine they'd go through. So it's looking like we're going to face Liverpool away twice in 4 days next week. So it's going to be a tough week for us. The squad's going to have to be used to the maximum. I know that people have been making a big deal about Mesut Ozil's exclusion last night. I just want to make it clear from my point of view, I don't really want to discuss players that aren't playing. There's reasons for his exclusion from the squad. What those reasons are, we're not totally 100% sure on, are we? So I'm just going to go along with the decisions that's made. I'm going to support the players that are playing, that are in the squad, that are coming on and doing the job. The ones that aren't playing and the ones that have left the club as well, I'm not going to really talk about them, because it's a waste of time, isn't it? Let's focus on, I say, this is a positive channel. Let's focus on the positive. The positive side, the players who are playing well. We're unbeaten this season now, 4 games in, 4 wins. What more could we want? So Mesut Ozil's not played a part in that, so let's forget about him for the time being. If he gets a recall to the squad and he plays, then we can discuss him. But until then, I don't think we need to worry too much about that, do we? So that's out there from last night. I say really good performance, a really good victory. Keeps our great start to the season going. And we move on, of course, to a really big test on Monday night against Liverpool. I'll be previewing that game over the weekend. I'm still hoping to maybe get another positive Arsenal podcast in. It's just timing of it's going to be quite difficult now. Obviously today's Thursday. I might try and see if I can get one in over the weekend. It's just, you know, people's availability, my availability. It's tricky at the minute, but we'll see. If not, then I'll definitely try and get one squeezed in between the 2 Liverpool games next week. And obviously we'll have a lot to discuss then anyway, with the 2 games that's happened and the upcoming 4th round tie as well. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe as well. Hit the subscribe button down below. Thanks to everyone who's supporting the channel so far. It's really appreciated. Some great feedback I've been having. I'm enjoying doing it. It's fun. You know, it's just me chatting about Arsenal for a few minutes every day or so. I like doing stuff on the history of the club actually as well. So if that's something you like, you'll find quite a lot of that here as well. But obviously, you know, the current stuff going on is important as well, and is at the moment taking a lot of priority with the games coming around thick and fast now, with our involvement still in the Caraboa Cup. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, thanks for supporting this channel. Please subscribe, please give this video a thumbs up. And as always, after another good victory, come on you Gunners!